Hello, buddy. Hassan here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to talk about Mammoth Biosciences being officially recognized as a unicorn company. I want to talk about this article on TechCrunch. I want to talk about what it means for this company and what we should be expecting from this company in the upcoming months slash year. Now, before we talk about this company, please do like this video, smash that like button, destroy that like button. You guys know how the YouTube algorithm works. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Really does help this channel. And if you haven't hit that notification bell, hit it so that videos get to you faster. So this article was published a few days ago. It was recommended by one of my viewers, and it is basically titled as Breakout CRISPR Platform Company Mammoth Biosciences is Officially a Unicorn. So we did actually cover this company a few weeks ago. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. We went to sort of dive deep into the company, what their pipeline looks like, what they're sort of positioning themselves in the CRISPR as a platform. Specifically, we made a mention how Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, basically the most valuable company in the world, actually is invested in this company personally, right? So Apple, Tim Cook only invested in two companies in his career personally, and that is Mammoth Biosciences is one of them. The other one is like some sort of a shower head company for bathrooms, whatever. But anyways, basically what the company was able to do, Mammoth Biosciences, recently is they were able to raise $150 million from their same type of investors group they have on their webpage that we'll see shortly, but about $150 million from Series D, right? So they were able to raise Series C to late 2020, so less than a year they were able to raise 45 million, right? So that's quite a hefty jump in less than a year, right? You're looking at about we're looking at about almost three times more than they were able to raise a few days ago compared to last year, which shows that a lot of investors are pouring their money into this company. They're backing it. Some investors like Mayfield, we talked about this when we were analyzing this company in that previous video that I will link with this video that I made few weeks ago. Mammoth Bioscience has been a major player in the CRISPR space since its founding in 2017, right? And so now they're going in the history of CRISPR, just like most articles do when they talk about these companies, right? It's just doing their due diligence, talking about the history of CRISPR, who Jennifer Doudna is, Emmanuel Charpentier, Nobel Prize winners, right? So they're talking about that. And then in August 2020, for instance, Mammoth licensed a family of proteins from UC Berkeley. These proteins were discovered by a graduate student team at UC Berkeley and reported in the papers in Feb 2020 in Nature. All right, so some details here, some nice details here, and they're saying how 2020 was a big year for CRISPR therapeutics. Just in general, they're not talking about the company here, they're talking about actual human therapeutics, right? They're not talking about CRSP. They're talking about it was a big jump, and that makes sense. Biotech as an overall got a huge jump because of the pandemic, right? That was sort of the silver lining, if there is any silver lining from the pandemic, right? People sort of realize how important our health is, as if as if it wasn't important before the pandemic, right? Biosecurity has come about a lot. That's what Ginkgo Bioworks talk a lot about. And then you have these communities, these governments, the government officials, community officials, sort of looking into investments, looking into giving designations, just like what we saw EMA do with CRISPR Therapeutics, the company. So Mammoth Biosciences are definitely setting up to be something really relevant in this space. I think they are still obviously a private company. That's the whole point of this video, right? Recognizing them as a unicorn company. And usually when we talk about unicorn companies, we're talking about companies that are private companies, startups, smaller companies that are sort of expected to be disrupting their respective field, their respective industries in the upcoming years, right? And obviously, Mammoth Biosciences have been in the news recently because of this, but also because of the fact like they're one of these companies that are sort of positioning themselves to be a platform, right? And I think this is very important, right? And before we even talk about like some of the specific points in the business line product lines, I do want to mention here in January, Mammoth earned funding from DARPA, which is obviously a defense advanced research projects agency in US. They got some funding from the National Institutes of Health. So you see these partnerships coming about, and they were definitely involved in the pandemic testing that we'll see just shortly. So quite interesting, and I think this is something we want to look out for, right? These types of articles, you want to try to understand, who are these companies coming about. There are obviously public companies, CRISPR companies that you can invest in today as we speak. We're talking about CRISPR Therapeutics, Antilia, Aditas, Graphite Bio, Verve Therapeutics, Beam Therapeutics, Caribou Biosciences. But now you have these private companies such as Mammoth Biosciences that are sort of starting to get ready to go IPO, right? And this is what I personally think will happen, right? These companies, they won't stay private for long, right? These unicorn companies can stay private for that long, right? Until existing employees and existing investors want to cash out, right? That's the whole point of going public, right? So that you can sort of reward your existing employees, reward your existing investors, and then ultimately be able to raise more funds from the public markets, just like what we saw NTLA do right after their release of data. They raised money from the public funds. Beam Therapeutics did that as well. And you're sort of putting cash in the bank, right? You're securing your future, right? And that's what you want as a company, very, very R&D focused. You want to be able to secure your future, right? The last thing you want to do is have probabilities to enter in bankruptcy, right? So that's the whole point of going public, right? You're giving ownership of your company in some sense to sort of be able to raise more funds and then reinvest that in your R&D programs, have more programs in your pipeline, and maybe invest in more headcount, and then ultimately, build a portfolio as you go on, right? You scale with size. So really quickly, just wanted to go over their website here as a reminder. Again, I went really deep with this company in that previous video that I'll be linking, but just wanted to cover again reading and writing the code of life, right? So this is already there. It's intriguing, CRISPR based detection platform, right? So what I really find interesting in this company is they're not just looking at genome editing, right? They're also looking at the detection platform. And this is what I always envision these companies like Caribou Biosciences, Antilia, CRISPR Therapeutics, Beam Therapeutics. Although it's nice to have these programs and licensing them out, just like what we saw Beam Therapeutics do with Verve Therapeutics, I think it's amazing. I think it's a great start. I think it's necessary. I think investors want to see that. But ultimately, genomics space is so big, right? This Arcane fund, right? They're not just investing in CRISPR companies, right? They're investing in diagnostic companies that are focusing on sequence mappings, technology companies. And I think if you can have these types of companies that branch out from just like one niche, right? It's not even a niche at that point, right? It's so big, but just if you understand what I mean, right? And this is what this company is doing, right? They're entering in the diagnostics, right? And because I was listening to Dr. Liu in yesterday's video that I made, which has been the most popular video I've made in less than 24 hours up to date, and he was talking about how right now in the genomic space and genome editing space, we don't really have tools to really detect how efficient some of these processes are. That was the whole discussion against a non-viral versus viral delivery methods. And I think what this company is doing here, entering in the diagnostic space as well as their CRISPR genome editing space, I think it's amazing. You're building that platform, you're getting that data, you're sort of attracting different verticals, right, in the genomic space, right? And I think our G fund will be all over this company. I truly believe this. Unless they go public at some point. Again, we don't know when they will go public. They haven't even filed for an S1 yet, so it's way too early to talk about this. But truly believe that they will be able to raise that fund through public markets by going public. I truly believe it. Now, will it be through IPO? Will it be through a SPAC? I don't know. It's just speculation. So, they were involved with the pandemic, like I said. They have this kit that was sort of developed, and I think this shows how fast and efficient they are in some sense, right? You can sort of develop that type of hardware that can detect a specific virus, right? Which is quite interesting, right? And again, this could be just marketing fluff, this could be just looking good, but I'm just bullish on their diagnostic and genome editing space. Obviously, genome editing is dear to my heart, but the fact that they're in the what's called the diagnostics place, I think a lot of companies will want a hands on it. They'll sort of build partnerships on it. I truly believe there'll be partner. Like, look at this partnerships. Like in the website, they're talking about partnerships, right? So just shows how important this company will be in this space. Again, they are called a unicorn for a reason. So we will end this video like this. I just wanted to really talk about a little bit about this company. The article talking about they are now officially a unicorn company. Just wanted to give my few thoughts on it. Hopefully, you guys appreciate this video. If you did, please do like this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Really does help this channel. And there won't be any videos tomorrow. Maybe not even Friday. Depends on how it goes. I'll be on the road. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you see it, I'll be on the road to Toronto again in the upcoming days. So hopefully, we'll have a video out in 2 days, or worst case, Saturday or even Sunday. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you very much for watching. And let me know what you guys think about Mammoth Biosciences, about this article from being a unicorn. Let me know about the other companies you think should be recognized as a unicorn. Again, it has to be a private company, right? That's the whole point of a unicorn. So leave me a comments below, guys. We will see each other in the next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you.